Most people walk through life believing the world operates on fairness, kindness, and good intentions. They think that if they work hard, tell the truth, and treat others well, they will naturally rise to the top. This is the greatest lie ever told. The world is not governed by morality. It is ruled by strategy. And those who understand this fundamental truth hold all the cards while everyone else remains trapped in a game they do not even realize they are playing. You are here because you sense something others miss. You see the hidden currents beneath polite conversations. You notice the calculated moves disguised as friendly gestures. You understand that power is not given. It is taken by those smart enough to recognize the rules that truly govern human behavior. Today, I am going to hand you the most potent power tactics ever developed. These are not theories from dusty books. These are weapons forged in the fires of human nature itself, tested across centuries of political intrigue, corporate warfare, and social domination. Each tactic will give you an edge so sharp that you will cut through deception, manipulation, and power games like a blade through silk. If you are ready to stop being a victim of other people's strategies and start becoming the strategist yourself, then commit to this transformation right now. Comment this phrase, "I choose power over innocence," because innocence in a world of predators is not virtue, it is suicide. The first power tactic you must master is the art of strategic invisibility. Most people make the fatal mistake of trying to appear powerful, smart, or important. They broadcast their achievements, reveal their plans, and advertise their capabilities like peacocks displaying their feathers. This is exactly what weak people do, and it makes them immediate targets for those who truly understand power. Real power moves in shadows. It operates behind veils. It strikes without warning because it was never seen coming. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous enemies are those you never suspect, and the most effective rulers are those who appear harmless while wielding absolute control. Strategic invisibility means you become a ghost in plain sight. You attend every meeting but never dominate the conversation. You listen to every complaint but never offer your true opinion. You observe every power struggle but never appear to choose sides. Meanwhile, you are gathering intelligence, mapping alliances, identifying weaknesses, and positioning yourself for the perfect moment to strike. In your workplace, this means you never reveal the full extent of your knowledge or capabilities. You solve problems quietly, build relationships carefully, and document everything without anyone realizing you are creating a comprehensive map of who holds real influence and who is merely pretending. When the time comes to make your move, you will know exactly which buttons to press and which strings to pull. In social situations, strategic invisibility allows you to study human behavior without interference. People reveal their true selves when they believe no one. Important is watching. They share secrets, expose insecurities, and demonstrate their actual loyalties. This information becomes your arsenal, and they handed it to you willingly because they never saw you as a threat. The beauty of strategic invisibility is that it protects you from retaliation. You cannot be attacked for moves no one saw you make. You cannot be blamed for outcomes no one can trace back to you. You become like water, flowing around obstacles, filling every space, essential to life itself, yet impossible to grasp or destroy. Practice this starting today. In every interaction, reveal 10% less than you normally would. Ask 20% more questions than usual. Observe 30% more carefully than you think necessary. Over time, you will develop an almost supernatural ability to see through people while remaining completely opaque to them. Comment this commitment right now. My power grows in silence. Because the moment you embrace strategic invisibility, you stop being a player in other people's games and start becoming the game master yourself. The second tactic that will set you apart from 99% of people is mastering the psychology of perceived value. Most people believe that value is inherent, that good work speaks for itself, that quality rises naturally to the top. This is another beautiful lie that keeps the masses exactly where the powerful want them, struggling for recognition while the truly strategic control perception itself. Value is not what something is worth. Value is what people believe something is worth, and belief can be shaped, molded, and controlled by those who understand the levers of human psychology. Machiavelli knew that appearance often matters more than reality, and those who master appearances control the reality others experience. Perceived value operates on scarcity, mystery, and social proof. When something appears rare, people want it more. When something remains partially hidden, people assign it greater importance. When others seem to value something highly, people assume they should too. These are not rational processes, they are psychological triggers that bypass logical thinking and tap directly into primitive human instincts. In your career, this means you never make yourself completely available. You do not answer emails immediately. You do not accept every meeting request. You do not volunteer for every project. Instead, you become selectively accessible, creating the impression that your time and attention are precious resources that must be earned. When you do engage, people pay attention because they know the opportunity is limited. You also control the narrative around your contributions. You do not simply complete tasks, you solve critical problems. You do not just attend meetings, you provide essential insights. You do not merely follow instructions, you anticipate needs and exceed expectations. The work might be identical, but the story you tell about that work determines how others perceive its value. Social proof becomes your amplifier. When you accomplish something, you ensure the right people know about it, but you never brag directly. Instead, you let others discover your achievements through carefully managed channels. You might mention a project casually to someone who you know will share it with others. You might leave evidence of your success where influential people will notice it naturally. You create the impression that your value is so obvious that it speaks for itself. Mystery adds the final layer. You never reveal everything you are working on. You never explain every skill you possess. You never show the full extent of your network or resources. People are naturally curious about what they cannot fully understand, and curiosity breeds respect. The more they wonder about you, the more important you become in their minds. This is not deception, it is strategic presentation. You are not lying about your capabilities, you are optimizing how those capabilities are perceived and valued by others. In a world where perception shapes reality, this is not manipulation, it is survival. To lock this understanding into your mind, comment this truth: I control how others see my worth. Because once you master perceived value, you will never again wonder why less capable people seem to advance faster than you do. You will understand that they are not necessarily better, they are simply better at managing perceptions. The third power tactic that separates masters from victims is the strategic use of controlled vulnerability. This might seem contradictory to everything I have told you so far, but it represents one of the most sophisticated weapons in the Machiavellian arsenal. Most people either reveal everything about themselves or nothing at all. Both approaches are mistakes that leave you exposed to those who understand the true power of calculated disclosure. Controlled vulnerability is not weakness, it is weaponized authenticity. It involves revealing carefully selected personal information that serves specific strategic purposes while keeping your true vulnerabilities locked away where no one can use them against you. Machiavelli understood that people are more likely to trust someone who appears human and relatable, but he also knew that trust is a tool that can be shaped and directed. When you share a controlled vulnerability, you create several powerful effects simultaneously. First, you lower other people's defenses because they perceive you as non-threatening. Second, you encourage them to reciprocate with their own revelations, giving you valuable intelligence about their weaknesses and motivations. Third, you build emotional connections that can be leveraged later when you need support, information, or cooperation. The key is choosing vulnerabilities that make you appear relatable without making you appear weak. You might share a story about a past failure that taught you an important lesson, demonstrating both humility and growth. You might admit to a minor insecurity that many people share, creating connection without exposing any real weakness. You might reveal a personal challenge you overcame, showing resilience while inviting others to see you as someone who understands struggle. What you never reveal are vulnerabilities that could be used against you. You do not share information about your finances, your deepest fears, your relationship problems, or your professional insecurities. You do not admit to mistakes that could damage your reputation or reveal weaknesses that competitors could exploit. You maintain absolute control over what you share and why you share it. Controlled vulnerability also allows you to manipulate the emotional temperature of any interaction. When you want to defuse tension, you can share something that humanizes you and encourages others to lower their guard. When you want to build alliance, you can reveal something that creates common ground. When you want to gather information, you can offer a small disclosure that encourages others to share much more significant revelations in return. This tactic is particularly powerful in professional settings, where relationships often determine advancement more than pure competence. People prefer to work with individuals they feel they know and understand. By strategically revealing selected aspects of yourself, you create the illusion of intimacy and trust while maintaining complete control over the relationship dynamic. The most sophisticated practitioners of this tactic appear to be completely open and authentic, while actually revealing nothing that could harm them. They master the art of seeming vulnerable while remaining invulnerable. They build connections that serve their purposes while never becoming truly dependent on others for emotional validation or support. Practice this by identifying 3 minor vulnerabilities you could share that would make you appear more relatable without exposing any real weakness. Test them in low-stakes situations and observe how people respond. You will quickly discover that controlled vulnerability is like a master key that opens doors you never knew existed. Declare your understanding by commenting, "I reveal only what serves my purpose." Because controlled vulnerability is not about being fake, it is about being strategic with your authenticity in a world where genuine openness is often punished and calculated disclosure is rewarded. The 4th tactic that will make you untouchable is mastering the power of strategic patience combined with decisive action. Most people exist at one of 2 extremes. They either rush into every situation without thinking, or they hesitate so long that opportunities disappear while they are still considering their options. Both approaches are forms of weakness that surrender control to those who understand the rhythm of power. Strategic patience is not passive waiting, it is active preparation. While others are making hasty decisions based on incomplete information, you are gathering intelligence, studying patterns, identifying the perfect moment to strike. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without timing is recklessness, and recklessness is how empires fall and careers end. This tactic requires you to think in layers of time. You have immediate goals that you pursue with steady consistency. You have medium-term objectives that you position yourself to achieve when conditions align. And you have long-term visions that guide your overall strategy, even when short-term tactics seem to contradict them. In practice, this means you never reveal urgency even when you feel it. You never let others know when you are operating under pressure or facing deadlines. You maintain the appearance of having unlimited time and options, which gives you tremendous negotiating power. People make concessions to those who appear willing to walk away, and they take advantage of those who seem desperate to close deals quickly. Strategic patience also means you study cycles and patterns that others ignore. You notice that certain types of opportunities arise predictably. You observe that specific individuals make the same mistakes repeatedly. You recognize that organizations go through phases where different approaches are rewarded. This knowledge allows you to position yourself in advance of favorable conditions rather than reacting after opportunities have already passed. But patience without action is paralysis. The key is recognizing when the moment for decisive action has arrived and then moving with overwhelming force and commitment. When you have gathered sufficient information, when conditions have aligned in your favor, when your preparation is complete, you must strike with the confidence of someone who knows victory is inevitable. This creates a devastating combination. Your patience allows you to choose battles you can win. Your preparation ensures you have every advantage when those battles begin. Your decisive action prevents enemies from recovering or adapting to your moves. You appear to others like a force of nature, calm and still, until the moment you become unstoppable. In professional settings, this might mean spending months building relationships and gathering information before making a strategic career move. You identify the decision makers, understand their priorities, recognize their frustrations, and position yourself as the obvious solution to their problems. When you finally make your proposal or request, it feels inevitable rather than ambitious. In personal relationships, strategic patience allows you to understand people completely before deciding how much to invest in them. You observe their character under pressure, their loyalty when tested, their discretion when trusted with sensitive information. Only after this evaluation do you decide whether they deserve access to your inner circle or should remain at a safe distance. The most powerful aspect of this tactic is that it makes you appear almost supernatural to those who do not understand it. They see you making perfect decisions with seemingly little effort. They watch you succeed in situations where others fail. They witness you avoiding traps that catch everyone else. They begin to assume you have some special insight or advantage that they lack. The truth is simpler. You just understand that time is a weapon, and those who master its use control everything else. You know when to wait and when to act, when to reveal and when to conceal, when to engage and when to withdraw. This knowledge makes you incredibly dangerous because unpredictability combined with precision is the hallmark of true power. Commit to this approach by commenting, "I move when victory is certain." Because strategic patience followed by decisive action is how you ensure that every move you make increases your power rather than exposing you to unnecessary risk. The fifth tactic that will elevate you above the masses is understanding and exploiting the psychology of social proof and authority. Most people are followers pretending to be leaders. They look around constantly to see what others are doing, thinking, believing, and wanting. They assume that if many people choose something, it must be correct. They defer to anyone who appears to hold authority, even when that authority is completely artificial. This represents an enormous opportunity for those who understand how to position themselves as the source of social proof and the embodiment of authority. You do not need to be the smartest person in the room, you just need to be perceived as the most credible. You do not need to have all the answers, you just need to appear confident in the answers you provide. Social proof operates on the principle that people use other people's behavior as a shortcut for their own decision-making. When they see others following your lead, they assume you must be worth following. When they observe others seeking your opinion, they conclude your opinion must be valuable. When they notice others treating you with respect, they begin to respect you automatically. You can create social proof artificially by starting with small groups and expanding outward. If you can convince 3 people that you are an expert in something, those 3 people will convince others through their behavior and references. Those others will convince even more people, creating a cascading effect that establishes your reputation far beyond your actual proven expertise. Authority works similarly, but operates through different psychological triggers. People are programmed to defer to authority figures because this behavior was essential for survival throughout human history. Those who challenged authority often faced severe consequences, so we evolved to automatically respect and obey those who appear to hold power over us. You can establish authority through symbols, behavior, and strategic positioning. Symbols might include the way you dress, the environments you choose for meetings, the tools and technology you use. Behavior includes how you speak, how you move, how you respond to challenges and questions. Strategic positioning means associating yourself with other authority figures and placing yourself in situations where others naturally look to you for guidance. The most sophisticated application of this tactic involves creating situations where others voluntarily grant you authority. You do not demand to be the leader, you simply begin acting like one until others start following. You do not insist that people seek your advice, you just start offering valuable insights until they begin asking for your opinion regularly. In group settings, you can establish authority by being the first to speak on important topics, by summarizing discussions and suggesting next steps, by asking the questions that others are thinking but not voicing. You become the person who shapes conversations rather than just participating in them. You also leverage authority by association. When you quote respected experts, reference prestigious institutions, or mention your connections to influential people, you borrow their credibility for your own purposes. This is not name-dropping, it is strategic credibility transfer that makes others view you as someone who operates at a higher level than they initially assumed. The key to both social proof and authority is consistency. You must maintain the image you create through every interaction. One moment of obvious uncertainty or incompetence can shatter perceptions that took months to build. This is why preparation is so critical. You need to actually develop the knowledge and skills that support your positioning. But you also need to understand that perception often creates reality. When people treat you as an authority, you begin to receive opportunities that develop real expertise. When they seek your advice, you are forced to think more deeply about topics than you might otherwise. When they follow your lead, you gain actual experience in leadership and decision-making. This creates a positive feedback loop where artificial authority becomes genuine authority over time. You start by appearing to be an expert and end up actually becoming one through the experiences that your reputation creates. To claim this power, comment right now, "Others follow because I lead." Because once you understand how to create social proof and establish authority, you will never again wonder why less qualified people seem to hold more influence than you do. You will recognize that influence is not just earned through competence, it is created through strategic positioning and maintained through consistent performance. The sixth tactic that separates strategic thinkers from the herd is mastering the art of information warfare. In our modern world, information is power, and those who control information flow control everything else. Most people consume information passively, share it carelessly, and fail to recognize that every piece of data they reveal or request sends signals about their intentions, capabilities, and vulnerabilities. Information warfare operates on multiple levels simultaneously. You must become expert at gathering intelligence while revealing nothing useful about yourself. You must learn to verify everything while appearing to trust completely. You must develop the ability to plant ideas and influence decisions through carefully managed information distribution. The first level is defensive. You must protect your own information like a state secret. This means being extremely careful about what you share in casual conversations, what you post on social media, what you reveal about your plans, resources, relationships, and strategies. Every piece of information you release can be used by others to predict your moves, exploit your weaknesses, or position themselves advantageously relative to you. This does not mean becoming paranoid or secretive to the point of damaging relationships. It means being strategic about disclosure. You share information that serves your purposes while withholding information that could be used against you. You reveal enough to build trust and cooperation while maintaining enough mystery to preserve your advantages. The second level is offensive intelligence gathering. You must become skilled at extracting information from others without them realizing what you are doing. This involves asking indirect questions, listening carefully to casual comments, observing behavior patterns, and connecting seemingly unrelated pieces of data to form comprehensive pictures of other people's situations and intentions. People reveal far more than they realize through their complaints, their excitement, their fears, and their casual references to events and relationships. A skilled information warrior can reconstruct someone's entire strategic position from fragments of conversation scattered across multiple interactions. The third level is strategic information distribution. This involves sharing selected information with specific people at precisely the right times to influence their decisions and actions. You might share a piece of intelligence with someone knowing they will pass it along to others, creating a chain reaction that serves your purposes. You might reveal a carefully chosen detail that causes someone to reconsider their approach to a situation. This level also includes disinformation, sharing false or misleading information to confuse competitors, misdirect enemies, or create opportunities for yourself. This must be done carefully because your reputation for honesty is a valuable asset that should not be damaged unnecessarily. The key is sharing information that is technically accurate but leads others to incorrect conclusions. The fourth level is narrative control. This involves shaping how information is interpreted and understood by others. The same facts can support completely different conclusions depending on how they are presented, what context is provided, and what other information is included or excluded from the discussion. You become expert at framing information in ways that support your objectives. You learn to emphasize certain details while downplaying others. You develop the ability to tell stories that make your position appear logical and inevitable, while making alternative approaches seem risky or foolish. In professional settings, information warfare might involve understanding the real power structure in your organization, not just the official hierarchy. You identify who actually makes decisions, who influences those decision makers, what priorities drive their choices, and what information they use to evaluate options. This knowledge allows you to position your proposals and requests for maximum effectiveness. You also monitor information flows to identify opportunities and threats before they become obvious to others. You notice when new projects are being planned, when budgets are being allocated, when personnel changes are being considered. This advance warning allows you to position yourself advantageously while others are still reacting to developments. The most sophisticated practitioners of information warfare appear to be naturally well-informed and insightful, while actually operating comprehensive intelligence networks. They seem to have opinions on everything while revealing nothing about their true plans and capabilities. They appear helpful and transparent while actually controlling exactly what others know and when they know it. To master this critical skill, start by conducting an information audit of your own life. Identify what sensitive information you have been sharing carelessly. Begin asking more questions and making fewer statements in your conversations. Practice extracting information from others through indirect inquiry and careful observation. Declare your commitment to this mastery by commenting, "Knowledge flows to me, secrets." Stay with me, because in a world where information determines outcomes, those who master information warfare hold all the real power, while others struggle with the illusions they have been fed. The seventh and final tactic that will make you truly dangerous is developing what I call strategic emotional intelligence. This goes far beyond the basic emotional intelligence that most people understand. This is the ability to read, predict, and manipulate emotional states in yourself and others for strategic advantage. Most people are slaves to their emotions and the emotions of others. They react predictably to emotional triggers. They make decisions based on how they feel rather than what serves their long-term interests. They allow other people's emotional states to determine their own responses and choices. This emotional reactivity makes them easy to predict, influence, and control. Strategic emotional intelligence requires you to understand emotions as tools rather than experiences. You learn to recognize emotional patterns in others and use that knowledge to predict their behavior. You develop the ability to trigger specific emotional states that serve your purposes. You master the art of appearing to share emotions that you do not actually feel. This begins with absolute mastery of your own emotional state. You must be able to remain calm under pressure, confident in uncertainty, and focused despite distractions. You cannot allow fear, anger, excitement, or disappointment to influence your decision-making or reveal your true position to others. But emotional control is just the foundation. The real power comes from understanding how emotions work in other people and learning to influence those emotions subtly and effectively. You study what makes people feel confident, insecure, excited, worried, trusting, or suspicious. You learn to create these emotional states through your words, behavior, and strategic choices. For example, you might make someone feel special and important by asking for their advice on a decision, even when you have already decided what you will do. You might create urgency and desire by suggesting that an opportunity is limited or that others are competing for the same advantage. You might build trust by sharing a carefully chosen vulnerability or by demonstrating that you understand their concerns and priorities. You also learn to recognize when others are attempting to manipulate your emotions and how to respond in ways that serve your interests rather than theirs. You become immune to flattery, threats, guilt trips, and other common emotional manipulation tactics because you see them for what they are, strategic moves in a larger game. Strategic emotional intelligence also involves understanding group emotional dynamics. You learn how emotions spread through organizations and social networks. You recognize how individual emotional states combine to create group moods and decisions. You develop the ability to influence group emotions through strategic positioning and well-timed interventions. In leadership situations, this might mean knowing exactly when to show confidence and when to express concern, when to celebrate successes, and when to acknowledge problems, when to push for more effort, and when to provide reassurance and support. You read the emotional needs of the group and respond in ways that maintain your authority while achieving your objectives. In competitive situations, strategic emotional intelligence allows you to destabilize opponents by triggering emotions that interfere with their performance. You might create doubt by questioning their assumptions, generate frustration by remaining calm while they become agitated, or induce overconfidence by appearing to concede points that do not actually matter. The highest level of this skill involves creating emotional experiences that people remember long after the specific details of your interactions have faded. You become associated with positive feelings of confidence, success, and capability. People begin to seek you out because they feel better about themselves when they are around you, even if they cannot articulate exactly why. This is not about becoming manipulative or cruel. It is about understanding that emotions are already influencing every interaction and decision, and choosing to understand and direct those influences rather than being victimized by them. In a world where most people are driven by unconscious emotional reactions, strategic emotional intelligence makes you incredibly powerful because you operate from conscious choice rather than automatic response. The combination of all 7 tactics creates something truly formidable. Strategic invisibility protects you while you gather intelligence. Controlled perceived value makes others want what you offer. Calculated vulnerability builds connections you can leverage. Strategic patience ensures you choose winning battles. Social proof and authority make others follow your lead. Information warfare gives you decisive advantages. Strategic emotional intelligence allows you to influence outcomes at the deepest level. Together, these tactics transform you from someone who hopes for good outcomes to someone who creates them. You stop being a victim of other people's strategies and become the strategist that others cannot predict, counter, or defeat. To claim your place among the truly strategic, comment this final declaration: I am the architect of my own power. Because once you master these 7 tactics, you will never again wonder why some people seem to effortlessly achieve what others struggle for their entire lives. You will understand that they are not lucky, they are strategic. And now so are you. The world belongs to those who understand how it really works, not how we wish it worked. These tactics are your keys to that understanding. Use them wisely, use them ethically, but most importantly, use them before others use them on you. Because in the game of power, there are only players and pieces, and now you know which one you choose to be.